What do you think? I know what I think. It is never a good sign when we start leaning stuff up against something in here. That's usually a good way to block it in and forget about it, but I just parked this in here not that long ago and it wasn't running good. It's been missing. So we're going to do a little tune-up and I'm going to fumble my way through it. And I'm sure I'm going to do things wrong, but I'm going to give it a go. I just got them and Big Stripes and I are trying to figure out where we set the parts. Yeah. We have parts everywhere. Kind of reminds me on Forrest Gump. Caterpillar parts, 4G parts, 7J parts, 7U parts, Farmall parts, John Deere parts, Ford parts, Chevy parts, Volkswagen parts, new parts, used parts, trailer parts. You have any luck finding them yet? Hit and miss engine parts, lawnmower parts, tool parts, other parts, crane parts, backhoe parts, parts to fix tools, tools to fix parts. It'd be logical if they were over by the tractor, wouldn't it? What do you think? I think I found them. Okay, there we go. There's the wires. There's the plugs. Points and condenser. And a cap. A distributor cap. Hi, Big Stripes. She says, I don't want nothing to do with this. I thought this was a cat channel. I just blew everything out with air to make sure we got it good and clean. And I'm going to start pulling plugs. There we go. I mean, it doesn't look terrible, but I'm going to go ahead and replace them. They're a little bit fouled. I've got new ones right here, and these are an Autolite 3116. Right here, the book calls for a gap between 0.020 and 0.025. There's 0.020, 0.025, 0.030. So we're going to have to bend that down just a little bit. Take my little gap tool here and give that electrode a bend ever so slightly. Alright, we're snug at about 0.023 or 4. That'll do, definitely. I'm going to put a drop of, Marble Mystery Oil right there on the threads. And those have a little crush washer around them, so you don't need to over-tighten them. But you do need them snug so they don't come loose. Found it very interesting to note that right here it says sandblasting is the recommended method of cleaning spark plugs. We'll put that back on there so we don't mix them up. And that one's done. I'm going to repeat the same step for the remaining 3 spark plugs. Two and 3 are fouled pretty bad, and this one actually looks like it was running a little hot. Up next, I'm going to do the spark plug wires, and I've gotten all these parts at Steiner Tractor Parts, I believe, and looks like these are good made in the USA ones. I already like that these new ones have the angled heads for up at the top on the spark plugs. That's going to make things a lot easier. We'll start back here with this one first. I have right here a new distributor cap, so rather than plug them into the old one and unplug them again, I think I'm going to plug them into this new cap. It has a kind of a vent hole right there, as does this one right here. So we're going to put our new plug down there, the one we just took off, and it might plug in pretty hard. I'll move the boot back so I can make sure I get it plugged in there good. Good new tight spark plug. There it goes. Snaps in nice and tight. Put my boot back up there. Alright. We'll set this aside and we'll pull off this one. And it's got some wear in there. It was probably good to replace this. We can set this one up here. There it is. Should dog ear into that notch and then snap these in place. Now it's good and tight. Got new plugs, got new wires. That'll keep Indiana Jones from getting scared from all the snakes. Breaker points should be inspected every 200-300 hours. And the point opening should be 0.013 when rubbing block is on the high point of the cam. We'll turn the engine over in just a second. And it's hard to see on there, but you can see on this feeler gauge, this thing's probably checked points. You can see the marks on here hundreds of times. Somehow the hand crank from a Caterpillar D4 will work on an H. Barely, but it worked. I can't remember for the life of me where the hand crank for this tractor went. The gap is perfect on those points. I'm not even sure I need to mess with them. After looking at the points, I have no reason to believe that was our problem with anything. Everything seems to be an adjustment. I found the crank for this thing. It was in the stupidest place possible, and the last place I would ever look. Where Dad told me it was. We're going to check the timing on this thing and make sure everything's where it's supposed to be. Turn the engine over with a crank, and we're going to see where top dead center is for number 1. There's a couple of marks on the pulley down there in the bottom, too.
There it is. Right now it's coming up.
There's a pointer up there. Dad's kind of cleaning it off, and he's shining the flashlight on it. And those 2 marks down there, we want the very first one to line up with that.
It's coming up number 1 now.
It'll go past them real quick, I think.
I know. Here they come. Easy, oh, right there.
I'm going to mark where this setting is right now and pull this magneto off. Dad brought out some granola bars and made me think of Antarctica. I ate a ton of these things in Antarctica. I loved them. I haven't really messed with these that much, but it looks like you could get these off 180 degrees. My son and my granddad did all this stuff with the H, so this is my first time. So yeah, okay. Putting the magneto back on, we got the impulse and everything lined up with the number 1 cylinder. So we'll put this back on here. We're going to throw everything together and fire it up, see if it'll start.
We roll this into the engine. We make another revolution till the next cylinder's up top dead center. And then we just rotate this back till the impulse clicks.
There cranks right here. 1 full revolution.
Yep. Don't go too fast.
There's half.
Okay, you're coming up.
That's half.
Okay, yeah.
There's the impulse.
That's the 180, yeah.
Should be right.
Okay, come slow, slow. You got about 1 inch on this pulley to go. Just keep going like that. I'll stop you. There. Rotate this back until it clicks.
There it goes. That's about where my mark was, I think, too, isn't it?
We're a little past it. Now, to check it, we rotate it until number 1 comes up again. And when number 1 comes up, our magneto should trip.
Be right here.
Okay, we're not on number 1 yet.
I got to do 1 more.
Okay.
It should be on.
Here comes 1. 1's coming up now. Yep, right on.
Yeah. From the marks, and I never had that off, it was a little bit off. So.
Okay, let's hook it up, put our plug in, and see if it'll start.
Okay. Grandpa took off the belt pulley, which I have over on the shelf, but he put a V-belt on here to drive a sprayer pump. Yeah, there's the original pre-cleaner for the H. And belts. There it is. Still in good usable condition.
It's a 56. About that time when they quit putting them on. You had to special order them.
Yeah, we're talking about our 400 Farmall. It never had one. Mentioned these little oil cups right here. I'm going to put just a drop in each one. Check the oil. And this one's always been sticky. A little bit. Yep, we got oil. Turn the fuel on under here. And I did put new gas in here, so this has got good gas.
That choke it?
Oh yeah, you're...
All right.
plugs and wires. I got all the other parts for a full tune-up and carburetor rebuild, but running good.
Go get the arrow.
I'm guessing it must have been the wires. When I got shocked, that was my suspicion. Yeah, and we redid the timing. I am going to shut the shop doors so that we don't get dust in here, and then we're gonna do the Farmall Zen garden. Dad and I both absolutely love to do. There's nothing more therapeutic than pulling around a drag harrow on the driveway. There's also no better tractor for this job than that H. Dad needs his hat.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're in heaven, aren't you?
Yep, like old times.
Yeah, I guess I'll admit, I did get the parts cannon out for this one.
There. That's fine.
Give it a little throttle. Well, I'm glad I got this one figured out. That thing's been sitting in the back of the shop mocking me for months. But I got it fixed, and just in time for the spring, because we got a lot of stuff to clean up around the place. I do want to thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. You're next. Since we have D4s, and since I know D4s, or am getting to know D4s, and Dad's getting to know D4s, it'd be nice to stay with D4s. We've also made the tools. We can listen to the birds and pet kitties. That sounds like a good day to me. Come on, Big Stripes, let's get it going. After you. Parts.